Wendy Antonucci here, and I'm going to be setting up my October planners today. This month I'm going to be using a Foxy Fix A6. It is not the one with rings, but I put my rings in. This will be my everyday carry. I'm not sure if I like A6. I know that I love pockets, so I'm going to try this month. My B6, of course, is my favorite, my B6 Dory, which I have in my Mystics Little Gifts B6, and I do rings and strings. And I need to change out my dashboards, but anyway, because I keep my children's information in here. So anyway, so I'll be setting those up later, but today I wanted to focus on my Happy Planner. As many of you know, this is how I actually got started in the planning world, is my Happy Planner. I use this as a kind of a diary, a place to put down my dreams. I keep my currentlies in here, and just, you know, the overall look at our month. I don't really actually write in here once the month has started, but I use it to look at what's coming. I've also at times added in some just the page protectors. This is by oh goodness, whoever makes Happy Planner, they have these inserts. So I used one just to put in some important pictures of the month, and then I think this was the month that we had my little boy went on test track for the first time, so I actually put these in here too. These are the mini planner size, but it fits in. And these are, I don't know if they're made for the big planners or the classic, but it fits in the classic, so whichever size it was. And I just really enjoy each month having my Cocoa Daisy in here. I have all the little clips in here. I have one for each month, and to me this is just something neat to save for the whole year. And I actually have, goodness, this is my third one and is just about full or done. It's actually already full, even though it's not done. So what I've actually taken to doing is I like to keep the whole month in there, but it's not fitting in because it's just so fat. So what I've done is I've removed it from my container, or my little holder that I actually keep it in. Let me show you so this still has room, so I'll add the rest of the months in there. It'll be the whole year of 2018, but in my cover that sits beside my bed, I actually already switched to 2019 and just began putting them in here as I write, because it was getting too difficult to write in them. So anyway, so you can see I really love my Happy Planner, and I have not changed. It's been 4 years in the classic, and that's what I plan on keeping up. So how do I go about setting this up? Some of you have seen possibly some of my other videos where what I do is I actually take the printables and print them on my pages. And I do have a video on my YouTube channel that tells you how to do that. I use a Canon Pixma, and I don't remember which number. I actually have to get a new one because the rollers are broken in it. I've had it so long. So here's the first 2 days. You can see that I actually made a mistake and did the same picture on both, but that's okay. And I went through then and just printed out, kind of matched them up and printed some on each page. So that's about as far as I've gotten. I go through and print out all the printables. Now for me, the printable B6 tends to fit pretty well. The standard, but like I said, it's actually the same thing, so I'm gonna not print that one again. And the A5 pages fit pretty well. So A5 and B6 work well. Sometimes the standard, depending, like if I'm putting this on the left-hand side of my page, it tends to be a little bit smaller. So once I have the pages picked out that I can use, so for instance, this is this one, and I really do enjoy having the grid on my Happy Planner pages. It makes it easier to work with. But as you can see, this was on the actual page. So all I do is I use my washi tape and I cover up what I don't want to print, and I didn't want that on my page, so that worked really well. Sometimes I don't quite line them up well. So let's take a look at another page. This is going to be the facing page of this. So let's see here. I think I would like it with, well, maybe I would like it with this one. Yeah, that'll work pretty good. So I'm going to put this page, my page on here. So what I like to do is I just lay it down and I kind of eye it up. And if you have a window, it works really well. I can see that this is the B6 Dory page, so it's all the way up here where I'm lining it up. I actually like to put this line right on the dotted line, because that way I can still get the design, but I cover up that strip. So it's going to go right about there. And I don't mind printing any of that, so everything else is okay to print. On the side, I'm going to try to get this dotted line lined up, and it's at about there. And I do just like to hold it up and check if it works. Once I have established where I want it to print, I'm going to use my washi tape, and I just take whichever ones are my least favorite or ones I've used a lot. Now, one thing I would suggest is I like to run my washi tape just on me, on my clothes, just on something to make sure that it does not have a lot of stick on it. I don't want it to be so sticky that it's going to rip my pages. Always make sure that if you're going to run it through your printer, that's a little bit off, that you tape it at the top. First of all, I don't want Cocoa Daisy to come on in the printable, but second of all, because it tends to not run through well if it's not taped down at the top. That is the one part. Everything else you can kind of get away with, but on the top, it really works better if you have it taped down. So I'm going to tape that down, right? And I like to check the side. Now there is all of this over here, and I don't really want that to print because I like to keep this pretty clean. So let's see here. I think it works the best on your clothing, or even your arms seems to work very nicely. And I'm just going to tape those down. So yes, I do go through a whole bunch of washi tape, but I have so much it's not funny from just all the different places. So I keep my favorites and I use the others in more practical ways. And I know that's horrible, and some of you might be just horrified by using your washi tape for such a way as this, but for me it works. Alright, so I'm going to check this real quick and make sure I have everything covered that I want. So give me just a second. Okay, so I have two more ready to go. Let's get this out of here before it gets stuck on anything else. So you can see that I have it all taped up, and I'm using the B6 Dory page and the A5 planner page. So I'm going to go ahead and print these out now. When you print these, they go, at least in my printer, they go face down with the top ready to feed in because it comes back out this way. The only other thing I really caution is make sure you have checked which page you're trying to print, because I have printed the wrong one many times. All right, so I'll be back in a minute. All right, so I am back. I have just printed out these two pages. You can see that they worked well. I left the little pieces of the leaves there, and I like how this came all the way over. I really like that. So we're just about done now setting them up. So let's see, that goes there. I do have these that are still blank, but I think I might want to do some fussy cutting, so I have to check that out. So this goes together, and then this one. All right, so I have this page, which normally I use the A5 pages, and they actually cover up pretty well. but I chose not to get those this time, so I'm trying to decide how I want to do these pages. As you saw, I don't really use them, so I'm not sure that this is something I need to keep putting in my book because they're in other places also. Just kind of eyeing things up. I could easily print the pumpkin there. I just don't know if I want to. So I'm going to hold off on this for right now. Let's see here. Looking through the pages, this is one that I don't have many of. So I think what I might do is actually use this page on here. This isn't one that I could fussy cut. I could cut out the pumpkins and such. But I have a lot of pumpkins in here and I would really like to get this page on here. Now, this one fits better on this side because of the width. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one on here, but I'm not going to include this top part on this page. And then I'm going to look for a skinnier one in the other pages. So here's a skinnier one, but I believe this is too skinny. Yeah, it's not going to fill that page up, so that's not going to work. Now, I could fussy cut these pumpkins out for my page. This one I think is too much for it. Okay, so we're going to have to just make it fit, I do believe. I will fussy cut these out, and I will be using these, and especially these parts. It would really would like some of those on there. That would look really nice. But it's a matter of figuring out how to get them on my paper and not running my paper off what the printer can print. Okay, so I'm going to fix that one, but once I've done that, the job is not done. It is just, I've had a little help, which I am very grateful for. I love those printables. All right, so now I'm looking at this. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out my supplies, and we're going to start decorating this now because this isn't done for me. All right, so one of my favorite things to do is to cover the sides. Now, I did print this on here so that I wouldn't have to, but I really, really, really love this washi tape. So I'm going to head and use this here. And you could leave it blank, but I'm actually going to use this on this side too. Okay, so there's that. I just use my punch. I just flip them over and it goes in here, but I do make sure that I line up the holes, so I don't cover all the holes. That's why you'll see me doing just one set at a time so that they line up. There we go. Okay, so that's all punched now. This one got stuck in here a little bit, but that works really good. It works, doesn't have any problem going through there. All right, now because of these two big pumpkins, I don't know how much more I'm going to put on this page. I like to look through my stickers next. That's usually the next thing I look at. And I do love to include, let's see here, these guys. I don't know, because of this up here, I don't know that I'm going to put some of these on this time. These are for my, I use that for my everyday, so I don't want to get into those. Same with that. Let's see here. Kind of want to cover that somehow, seeing that I somewhat messed that part up there. Didn't quite line that up the way I should have. And I think I'm going to actually put this piece here. Just across here. You can still see the words, but it's not as distracting, I guess. And over here, I'm going to use this thin one because I'm actually not trying to cover that. I just want to have that same idea. And the right-hand page is bigger, so it wouldn't have covered anyway. All right, anything else I want to put on here? I'm not sure that I want to put anything more on here. There are lots and lots of die cuts, but again, this is a pretty complete page, so I'm actually going to be leaving this alone, except for the stamps. I love these. I love the fact that we can add in little touches without really putting too much, well, taking up too much. Like this is kind of heavy. And while that looks great there, no big deal, if I was to put it out in the middle, it would just take up so much of my area, and I really like to have my whole page available. So to me, the stamps are the best way to deal with that. I love these leaves, so I'm going to actually just grab one of these. Let's see here. I guess I'll take this one. I like to use the Ranger Archival ink, the Letterette, because it does not smear, and I have a hard time because I do tend to smear things. So I just like to stamp these around here and there. I just do it in black. I'm not looking for any wow colors. I want to have plenty of room and opportunity to write. But it just really adds something. And then I really like the little dotties, so I'm gonna go with this one. I think the little stamps are my favorite. Yikes. How do you arrange these? I might not be able to get these in. Well, I'll just put it, I guess you can put it underneath, right? There we go. I just really love how that adds something in, but it leaves me plenty of room to write. I can write over the stamps. I could color them in if I chose. And for me, I love these guys. Well, but we don't have winter. We're in Florida. And I don't know if I want to add him in. I'm going to leave him till later. So there is a finished page. The other thing I like to add in, and I was trying to see if we have any, is I like the week number here. And so sometimes these, for instance, this one, I could use a whole bunch of those. I like to put them on circles, so let's see if there's any more in here. I know 1 month we had a whole bunch of those circle stickers, which I really loved. Okay, so I put in my little calendar. For some reason, this style of Happy Planner does not have that, and I like to have that. And I just cut off the part that says week number because this stuck out too far, and I didn't really want to do that, so I just kept it to there. So this page is actually done. There's plenty on it. I am so thankful for these printables. They just really work well.